Hi again, everyone. Gary Digital Williams here on Beltway Boxing News and Notes on the Boxing on the Beltway Podcast Network. And you always hear the podcast live on Spreaker.com. We're also on Stitcher.com, TuneIn.com. We're on Spotify. We're on Podcast Addict. We're on iHeartRadio.com, and we're on Google Podcasts. So anywhere you can get your favorite podcasts, you can hear the Boxing on the Beltway Podcast Network. And we're off last week because of the Thanksgiving holiday. We hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday and looking forward to the great winter holiday season. And I tell you, here in the Beltway, we are looking forward to what should be a very, very busy December for Beltway boxing. We have some great bouts on tap, and actually that December schedule started last night, actually, and will continue through pretty much the rest of the year. But it's going to be an outstanding time for us, so we're going to talk about that as well. We also have some late results for you coming up as well. Beltway Boxing News and Notes on the Boxing on Beltway Podcast Network, brought to you as always by Real Time Pain Relief. From boxers to ballerinas for shoulder pain and muscle strain, everything in between, Boxing Law on the Beltway recommends Real Time Pain Relief, the natural, plant-based, safe, fast, and effective ointment. You go to freepainoffer.com, you buy $10 worth of real-time pain relief, you get a free $10 tube of real-time pain relief, the official pain relief of the 2020 Daytona 500. Rub it on, the pain is gone in real time. And by DeborahSpears.com. She has great weight loss tips, great jewelry, and also she has great training methods on Deborah, Debra Spears.com. Well, before we get into our December schedule, we have a couple of events that we didn't get a chance to get to. One was during the Thanksgiving weekend, so we didn't get a chance to really get into it, Thanksgiving holiday. And that was undefeated Baltimore, Maryland heavyweight Cassius Chaney. He captured his first pro title, winning the vacant WBC USNBC silver title with a third-round knockout over Nick Jones of Okmulgee, Oklahoma. That was on November 27th at the Castleton Banquet and Conference Center in Windham, New Hampshire. Now, I heard that Chaney was devastating again. He has been devastating in his recent bouts, but no other details on the contest. But the contest did end at 122 of the third round. Chaney is now 18-0, 12 KOs. Jones falls to 7-3, 5 KOs, and Chaney is now the WBC USNBC silver heavyweight champion. He kind of lives in New London, Connecticut, but he's been training with Calvin Ford and Kenny Ellis, so another heavyweight there, champion there for that Upton Boxing Gym. So congratulations once again to Cassius Chaney. Unfortunately, heavyweight Kobe Mad Dog Madison of Owings Mills, Maryland, did not fare too well in his last bout on November 30th. He lost to Guido the Gladiator Vianello of Rome, Italy. And he lost to Vianello. Madison lost to Vianello in just 44 seconds. I happened to see highlights of this bout. Wasn't much of a bout, but Vianello is tough. And I've heard some good things already about him. He was a guy who was in the 2016 heavyweight Olympic competition. He only went past the first round there, but ever since then, he's been going great guns, and he just needed 44 seconds. He knocked out Madison with a beautiful right hand over the top and stunned Madison, and he lost the bout. Vianello is 6-0, all 6 of his wins by knockout. Madison, he's lost his second straight contest now. He's falling to 8-2-2 with 5 KOs. But I've heard a lot of great things. My good friend Rick Glazer said he is just a big-time animal, is Vianello. He's a top-ranked promotion signee, and they expect high things from him, Vianello, on that one. So a tough loss for Kobe Mad Dog Madison. Now let's look at December. And December has already started, really, because we had a big bout as we recorded this just last night. As Demetrius Big Meats Ballard of Temple Hills, Maryland, he battled Yamaguchi Falcao of Sao Paulo, Brazil for the vacant NABF Middleweight Championship. And that title is still vacant because Ballard and Falcao fought to a 10-round majority draw at the hangar in Costa Mesa, California. This bout was shown on DAZN and on Facebook Watch Live. It could have gone either way, really. I think some people thought that Ballard won it. As a matter of fact, one judge, Fernando Villarreal, scored the bout for Ballard 97-93. But it all depends what you were looking at. I mean, for Ballard, he was definitely throwing the harder punches. He was landing the harder blows. But Falcao was a good boxer. His boxing skills came to the forefront. And two of the judges, Tiffany Clinton and Edwin Hernandez Sr., could not decide a winner. They saw the draw at 95-95. So tough break for Ballard. He does not lose. He's 20-0-1, 13 KOs. Falcao is now 16-1-1 with 7 KOs. So a tough bout. Hopefully they'll do it again, once again, for the vacant NABF middleweight title. Now let's take a look at December in earnest, because we have a lot of things going on, including tonight. We have a number of Beltway boxers that are going to be involved in a card at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. There's a King's Promotions card that you can watch live on Facebook. Watch on King's Promotion on Facebook Fight Night Live, I should say, on a King's Promotion card. Now the main event will feature a local boxer as Michael the Professor Fox. He'll battle Johnny Arellano of I believe he's of Texas, and that'll be in a 10-round bout. Fox is 21-1, 5 KOs. He's ranked 15th in the world by the WBA and 14th by the IBF, coming off a great dominating 10-round unanimous decision win over Udi Bernardo on September 14th in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. This will be the 4th bout for Michael Fox this year. He is doing very, very well. Again, ranked in 2 world title classes, and this could be a big bout, because I believe Arellano, and I don't have his record in front of me, but I think he's 18-1, 13 KOs. I think one of the big keys for this bout is that Arellano will be the tallest fighter that Fox has ever faced. He's not as tall as Fox, but Arellano is 6'2". So looking at their picture, that was very interesting to see that. And that could be a different challenge for Michael the Professor Fox in this bout. So we'll see what happens. That bout scheduled for 10 rounds. Michael the Professor Fox taking on John Arellano. One of the co-featured bouts, another Beltway boxer, that's the sexy Albanian Yank Plana out of Hagerstown, Maryland. His bout scheduled for 8 rounds against undefeated Calvin Hot Sauce Henderson of Fayetteville, Arkansas. Plana is 7-1, 4 KOs. Last fighting on October 24th, he scored a first-round knockout over Alex Laura. That was on the Alarm.com card at the Capitol Hilton in Washington, D.C. This will be Plana's second 8-round encounter of his career. The first one resulted in Plana's only loss, a majority decision, to Rafael Ibokwe on August 23rd in Houston, Texas. Plana has fought now 6 previous times. This will be his 7th bout of the year. Henderson is 12-0, 8 KOs, scoring a 3rd-round knockout over TKO over Antoine Akins on May 10th at the 2300 Arena. This will be Henderson's 3rd straight trip to that venue. Now, another 8-round bout. DC Super Bantamweight Marcus the Dream Crusher Bates. He'll take on a late substitute in Francisco Rayito Pedrosa of Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. Bates is 10-1-1, 8 KOs, won his last bout by 8-round unanimous decision over Saul Eduardo Hernandez. That was on August 23rd in Houston, Texas. Bates, by the way, ranked 14th in the world by the WBA. Pedrosa is 13-9-2, 7 KOs. He'll face a Beltway boxer for the 2nd straight time. He lost a 10-round unanimous decision to Antonio Russell on July 13th in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And once again, the returning Devar Jingawar for Hardy. He'll take on fellow undefeated boxer Vincent Backus of Omogi, Oklahoma. That bout is scheduled for 6 rounds. For Hardy, 7-0, 6 KOs. He hasn't fought since August of 2016. He knocked out Christopher Petty in the 3rd round in Crystal City, Virginia. For Hardy, was in his native Kurdistan. He was completing his medical school studies. Backus is 4-0-1, 3 KOs. He won a 5-round unanimous decision over Stephen Crowfield on February 23rd in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Now, the interesting situation with this bout is that Hardy came into this bout a couple pounds over the super middleweight limit. So he's going to give up some money to Backus for this bout, but the bout will go on tonight. Devar Hardy taking on Vincent Backus. And the card will be shown live on Facebook Fight Night Live. I believe the time is 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, our first local card of December will be on Saturday, December 7th And that'll be at the Michael and Son Sportsplex in Sterling, Virginia. This will be a Ponytail Promotions card. Number of Beltway boxes on this card, including the main event, undefeated NABO female super featherweight champion, the Dark Menace herself, Tierra Brown of DC. She'll be in the main event against Simone Aparicia da Silva of Sao Vicente, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Brown is 9-0, 6 KOs, coming off an 8-round majority decision win over Vanessa Bradford on October 24th in Brooklyn, New York, and she made the first defense of that NABO title. Da Silva is 17-13 with 6 KOs. She won a 10-round split decision over Caroline Foro Antunes. That was on October 26th in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And Da Silva has competed in numerous world title bouts, but she's been unsuccessful every time she's competed for a version of the world title. So we'll see what happens there. Elsewhere in that card, Baltimore, Maryland lightweight Mac Poppy Allison IV. He'll be in a 6-round contest against Mike Fowler of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Allison's 10-3-1, 8 KOs, scoring a 3rd-round knockout over Veron Webb. That was on the last card at the Michael and Son Sportsplex on September the 14th. Fowler is 7-24, 2 KOs. He's lost 5 in a row, including a 2nd-round knockout loss to Israel Mercado. That was on August 22nd in Costa Mesa, California. Bowie, Maryland welterweight Marlon the Machine Boland, he'll be in a tough bout. I think this is going to be a very interesting bout because he'll take on Baltimore, Maryland's Kevin the Scarecrow Womack Jr. This bout's scheduled for 4 rounds. Now, Boland is 2-0, 1 KO, coming off a 4-round unanimous decision over Lamont White on April 27th at the Tyson's Playground in Vienna, Virginia. Womack Jr. is 9-19-4, 7 KOs. He suffered back-to-back first-round knockout losses in his last 2 outings. But his last win, this is why this is an interesting bout, came up against Mark Sayles Duncan. That was at the Eagle Bank Arena in Fairfax, Virginia. And Duncan no longer fights anymore. Womack knocked out Duncan, totally stunned him, and put him out of boxing, basically. He really did. And so that's where this is a scary situation for Marlon Boland. If he can survive the power that Womack still has, this could be very interesting to see what happens. Also on the card, Elk Ridge, Maryland lightweight, the Red Comet Dante Cox. He'll face off with Elliot Brown of Erie, Pennsylvania in a 4-round bout. Cox is 4-1, 3 KOs. He stopped Hakeem Smith in the 2nd round on August 2nd at Live Casino in Hanover, Maryland, where, of course, Dante Cox works as well. Brown is 2-12, 2 KOs. He's lost 8 in a row, including a 4-round unanimous decision defeat to Felix Santana Jr. on November 2nd in Tampa, Florida. The card also marks the return of DC welterweight Deontay Mr. Untouchable Burts. He'll face a tough veteran in Matt Murphy out of East St. Louis, Illinois. That bout scheduled for 4 rounds. Burts, who's 4-0, 2 KOs, has not fought since May of 2018. He won a 4-round unanimous decision over David Veras Pena in Hockinson, Delaware. So this is kind of a tough bout. When you're coming back from a long absence, Matt Murphy may be one of the last people you really want to face. Murphy is 3-40-4, 2 KOs, but he's just a tough guy. He comes off a 6-round unanimous decision loss to Antoine Ellerson on September 7th in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And again, Murphy very, very busy. This will be his 11th bout this year. Leesburg, Virginia cruiserweight Calvin Menz. He's originally from Accra, Ghana. He'll face the debuting William Brown and couldn't get a hometown for him in a 4-round bout. Menz won his pro debut on the last card at Michael and Son Sportsplex. He defeated Rashad Lipscomb by unanimous decision. Silver Spring, Maryland heavyweight George Harris will battle 46-year-old Tony Lopez of Yucaipa, California. Harris is 4-0, all 4 of his wins by knockout. He scored a 2nd-round TKO over Antoine Taylor on May 18th at the Entertainment Sports Complex in Washington, D.C. Lopez is 1-0, 1 KO. He won his pro debut by a 1st-round TKO over Billy Martin on June 29th in Golden, Colorado. And there'll be a few Virginia-based boxers making their pro debuts on this card. Female boxer by the name of Joelle Flores. She's from Leesburg, Virginia, by way of El Paso, Texas. She'll be making a pro debut. Joan Planas, not to be confused with Yank Plana, but Joan Planas of Manassas, Virginia, will be on the card, as well as Akeem Jackson. He's originally from Alexandria, Virginia, but now lives in Oxon Hill, Maryland. So that is the card for Saturday, December 7th at the Michael and Son Sportsplex in Sterling, Virginia. Hope you can support the Beltway boxers on that card. Also on Saturday, December 7th, 2 Beltway boxers are slated for a card at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, and they'll be in big scheduled 10-round bouts. Richmond, Virginia middleweight, the chosen one, Emmanuel Alim, he'll face Ronald Akeem Ellis of Lynn, Massachusetts. I like this bout. I really do. This should be a very interesting bout. Alim is 18-1-2, 11 KOs. He last fought on May 11th at the Eagle Bank Arena in Fairfax, Virginia, and he fought Matt Korobov to a 10-round majority draw. And by the way, Matt Korobov is on this card at the Barclays Center. I believe this is the card that features Jamel Charlo making a defense of his title. And Matt Korobov gets a shot at the interim middleweight title, which is kind of interesting because that was the bout at the Eagle Bank Arena was the bout between Alim and Korobov that went to a 10-round majority draw after originally thinking that Korobov had won the bout. So I guess this is kind of a consolation prize in some sort for Matt Korobov back on May 11th at the Eagle Bank Arena. Ellis, meanwhile, is 16-1-2, 11 KOs. He looks to bounce back from his first pro loss, a 10-round majority decision loss to DeAndre Ware. That was on February 1st in Rochester, New York. Also on this card, the undefeated Hydesville, Maryland featherweight Kobe the Soldier Breedy, the native of Bridgetown, Barbados. He'll take on Titus Williams of Elmont, Long Island, New York. Breedy is 14-0, 4 KOs. He'll make his second straight trip to Barclays Center. Last time he was there, Breedy won a 10-round unanimous decision, a great decision, over Ryan Lee Allen on August the 3rd. Meanwhile, Williams is 9-2, 4 KOs. He won by first round TKO over Aaron Echveste Lopez. That was on July 12th in Queens, New York. So again, Breedy could win this bout and maybe get ranked in the featherweight division if he can defeat Williams on this card. So that is Saturday, December 7th, Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. I believe some of the bouts will be shown on Showtime's. The card will be shown on Showtime. The main events on the bout will be shown on the cards will be shown on Showtime. However, I think some of the bouts, I don't know if all of them will be streamed live on Showtime's Facebook page. So check that out as well. Then we come to Friday, December 13th at the Mass Mutual Center in Springfield, Massachusetts. That's where Leesburg, Virginia cruiserweight Mighty Joe Jones. He'll be in an 8-round contest against Richard Rivera of Hartford, Connecticut, who is known for some reason as Popeye the Sailor Man. I don't know why. Now, Jones was scheduled to fight overseas, but I guess that fight fell through. And he's 11-1, 8 KOs. He's had not fought since he beat Twan Smith by 6-round unanimous decision on June 29th at the Gardens Ice House in Laurel, Maryland. Rivera is undefeated, 15-0, 12 KOs. He last fought on November 1st, knocked out Juan Celine Zapata in the first round in Daytona Beach, Florida. So that's Friday, December 13th, the Mass Mutual Center, Springfield, Massachusetts. Mighty Joe Jones of Leesburg, Virginia, battling Popeye the Sailor Man, Richard Rivera of Hartford, Connecticut. Then we come to Saturday, December 14th. This will be at the Tyson's Playground in Vienna, Virginia. This will be a TAC Promotions card. Now, as I looked at the card, I took a second look at this card before we went on the air today. And there's only one Beltway boxer on the card right now. DC welterweight Torian Venable. He's 0-1. So I don't know what to say about this card, to be honest with you. There's not a whole lot of local interest for this card. Again, December being just a busy month, I'm not 100% surprised, but I would like to see some more Beltway boxers on this card, even if they're on the B side. I mean, if you're there to promote other boxers, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But maybe some DC boxers or Beltway boxers could be on the B side of the card. Who knows? Maybe that's the case. They haven't listed a B side yet for that card. So that's Saturday, December 14th, Tyson's Playground, Vienna, Virginia. Then the bouts get huge. And I do mean huge. This is going to be the second half of the month is going to be absolutely loaded. If I can find the second half of the bout here. Let's see. Okay, my notes are a little bit scrambled here today. This has been a wild one, no question about that. Okay, let's continue. The card coming up on Monday, December 16th, from the International Convention Center in East London, Eastern Cape, South Africa. We've talked about this a couple of times on the podcast, and that's where Bethesda, Maryland super flyweight Alexandru Spartan Marine will go after the IBO super flyweight championship held by Gideon Buthelezi of East London, South Africa. That bout is scheduled for 12 rounds, of course. Undefeated Marine, this biggest bout, and he is the IBF international champion, but being able to take this bout here for the world champion, he is the number one contender for this bout. So this is Buthelezi's mandatory coming up here on Monday, December 16th, from the International Convention Center that's located in East London, Eastern Cape, South Africa. So best wishes to Alexandru Spartan Marine. Then we come to Saturday, December 21st at the Copper Box Arena in London, England. Now, this is the first time we've announced this on the blog here, but this is a huge one. This is a huge one for Alantes Slides of Fox. Remember, Michael has a tough bout coming up tonight, as a matter of fact, as we record this, but his older brother, Alantes Fox, now fighting up in Marlborough, Maryland, will have a big bout against Liam the Machine Williams of Clydach Vale, Wales. This bout is a WBO world title elimination contest at middleweight. The winner getting the mandatory challenge against WBO middleweight champion Demetrius Andrade. Fox is 26-1-1, 12 KOs. He's ranked number 1 in the WBO middleweight, coming off an 8-round unanimous decision win over Bruno Leonardo Romay. That was on October 26th in Trujillo Alto, Puerto Rico. Now, should Fox win this elimination bout against Liam Williams, he'll get his second opportunity at Andrade. Fox's only loss came to Andrade by 12-round unanimous decision in October of 2017 at the Turning Stone Casino in Verona, New York. Now, despite suffering a torn rotator cuff in his left shoulder, Fox was able to drop Andrade in this bout. That in and of itself is absolutely amazing. So that's going to be a big one there. Williams is 21-2-1, 16 KOs. He's ranked number 7 in the world by the WBO. In his last outing, Williams won the vacant WBC silver middleweight title with a second-round knockout of Kareem Achor. That was on July 13th in Greenwich, England. And Williams is a former world title contender at super welterweight. So this is huge. No question about it. This is huge. And we shall see how Alantes Fox does. And again, if he wins this bout against Liam Williams, that could set him up for a big 2020, including another shot at Demetrius Andrade. And again, he fought that bout, that entire 12-round bout, because it was a 12-round contest, if memory serves me correct. He fought the entire bout with a bad rotator cuff. That's not easy to do. And it takes a lot of guts for him to do that. So we'll see. That should be interesting to see what happens. So that's Alantes Slides of Fox taking on Liam the Machine Williams. This bout scheduled 12 rounds on Saturday, December 21st at the Copper Box Arena in London, England. We'll see what happens there. Then we come to Saturday, December 28th. This is the probably the best way we could figure out to end this year with this card coming up. This will be at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. And again, this is the card that features Gervonta Davis and Yuriorkis Gamboa, both former world champions. They'll be facing each other for the vacant WBA lightweight title. And this is going to be huge. However, there'll be there's some more Beltway boxes on this card coming up on Saturday, December 28th. Here we go. 10-round welterweight bout. Baltimore's Malik Iceman Hawkins. He'll face an undefeated boxer in Darwin Price of Houston, Texas. Hawkins is 17-0, 10 KOs. Last fought on September 20th. Scored a first-round knockout over Oliveira in Las Vegas. And Hawkins just recently signed with Mayweather Promotions, along with Gervonta Tank Davis and another person we'll talk about in just a moment. Price, meanwhile, is 16-0, 9 KOs. He won a bout by 5th round TKO over former world title contender Brettis Prescott. Now, if you remember the name Brettis Prescott, he was a guy who knocked out, just put among the clovers, so to speak, one Amir Khan a few years ago. So this is no joke. And he knocked him out. Price knocked him out in the 5th round on October 4th in Houston, Texas. So this is going to be a tough one for Malik Hawkins. I have a feeling this could be very interesting to see what happens there. Malik Heisman Hawkins taking on Darwin Price of Houston, Texas. Coming up, Hawkins once again 17-0, 10 KOs. Price 16-0, 9 KOs. The records are very similar. You may say that Price, because of the win over Prescott, may have fought some slightly better competition. So this could be huge. No question about that. 8-round contest. Clinton, Maryland, super welterweight now, formerly out of Washington, D.C. Clinton, Maryland's Kareem Remo Martin. He'll battle Jeremy Cuevas of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in an 8-round bout. Martin is 13-2-1, 4 KOs, riding a 4-bout winning streak, including a 3rd-round stoppage of Luis Gerardo Avila. That was on July 27th at the Royal Farms Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. That was on the card that featured Gervonta Davis winning his last bout. Cuevas is 12-1, 9 KOs. He comes off a 4th-round TKO over Rondell Hubbard. That was on October 19th in Philadelphia. So, again, Cuevas has fought some very solid competition. So, this could be a tough bout for Kareem Martin as well. So, we'll see what happens there. Also, Baltimore lightweight Malik King Warren, the other boxer who is signed with Mayweather Promotions. He's slated for a 4-round bout against an opponent to be named. Warren is 2-0. Both his wins by knockout. Both his wins have been TKOs in the 2nd round. So Malik King Warren on this card. And this announcement for this card is very special. It gives people an idea how old I am, I guess. But this was a day that I wasn't sure would ever come because she's been involved in so many other great things in her life. But she stayed the course. And now she makes the turn from amateur to pro. A young lady that I've been watching, and I've done a couple of her bouts as amateurs since she was about 4 years old. Her name, Mia Killer B. Ellis. She is the daughter of the great trainer Kenny Ellis, who worked with Calvin Ford over at Upton Gym in Baltimore. Mia Killer B. Ellis will make her pro debut on this card on Saturday, December 28th at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. She'll take on 0-8 Crystal Byers of Ohio. She's Mia Ellis. She never went to the Golden Gloves. She tried to get there a couple times, but they never found opponents for her. She never went to the Olympic trials or anything like that, but she's been a great student in the classroom over the years, and she has excited crowds throughout the area. She's fought on numerous bouts here in the Baltimore area, especially. And again, with so many talents that she has, I wasn't sure what boxing was in her life, but apparently boxing is still prominent. And she makes her pro debut on this card coming up on Saturday, December 28th at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. And we'll see what happens there. So once again, congratulations in advance for Mia Killer B. Ellis making her pro debut. So that is December, folks, and it is going to be crazy. So crazy, in fact, that I know that we have Juan Marshall now had to wait until the smoke clears to do our awards this year. So I think we're going to wait a little bit, maybe until sometime in January, later in January than we normally do, to get our 2019 awards out this year. A lot of things are going on in my life personally as well. So between the two, I mean, nothing bad. I mean, say that, nothing bad. I'm adjusting to a new job I have, and it's a longer adjustment, and a lot of things are going on around that. That's caused me to kind of to reconfigure what's going on in the boxing scene for me. So nothing bad. It's just I have to think things through, so to speak. So we'll talk about more about that as we go forward. But I think Juan and I have to rethink that going forward. By the way, speaking of Juan, my condolences to Juan Marshall and his lovely wife Elsie and their family on the loss of Elsie's mother. Elsie's mother passed away about a week or so ago. I think the funeral was either today or tomorrow as we record this. Actually, her mother and Elsie's side of the family actually has connections to Beltway boxing because they're related to the legendary boxer we have in this area, Boxing Andrew Maynard. So that's kind of interesting there. But she passed away. I had a chance to meet her a few times. Lovely lady, no question about that. She just passed away. So my deepest condolences to my partner, Juan Marshall, and his lovely wife, Elsie, on the loss of Juan, mother-in-law. So, again, just been a wild year this year. No question about that. So don't forget, tonight, as we record this, Friday, December 6th, we have the card at the King's Motions card at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. A number of Beltway boxers on that card. You can watch it live on Fight Night Live on Facebook. On Saturday, December 7th, we'll be at the Michael Son Sportsplex in Vienna, in Sterling, Virginia. Michael Son Sportsplex in Sterling, Virginia. And, of course, the TAC Promotions card at Tyson's Playground in Vienna, Virginia. So make sure you support our Beltway boxers as we close out what has been a wild 2019. Thanks for joining us, everybody. And always remember the Beltway Boxing News and Notes on the Boxing on Beltway Podcast Network brought to you by Real-Time Pain Relief. Go to freepainoffer.com, buy $10 worth of Real-Time Pain Relief. You get a free $10 tube of Real-Time Pain Relief, the official pain relief of the 2020 Daytona 500. Rub it on, the pain is gone in real time. And by DeborahSpears.com, great weight loss tips, great jewelry, great training methods at Deborah, Debra Spears.com. Don't forget to go to the Amazon page on boxonthebeltway.blogspot.com to purchase your Christmas items coming up this rest of this month. And also you can find me on Twitter at Digital25. I'm Gary Digital Williams. Thanks for joining me, everybody. And always remember, keep supporting the best boxing in the world, the boxing along the Beltway. Thanks for listening. Take care.